Mr. Bowie on a Friday. This is the Bennington Show. Ron Bennington, Gail Bennington.
Yo.
Joe Bennington.
Hello.
Stanley Details Bennington, all in here together today. Here's, it's been a fun week. I know we put the Bowie thing away after this week. Monday, I start to feel bad about Martin Luther King. And then,
Yeah, and then you give that a week. And then so forth.
Well, the Jews have taught me something, and I don't know what it's I think it's called the Hasparasa.
Oh, beautiful.
But that's when someone dies, you throw yourself into just mourning and just holding on to it and then you put the covers over for some reason you're putting blankets over your mirrors.
Yeah, that's part of it. We've been sitting Shiva all week.
Is that what it is, Shiva?
Shiva.
I thought it was like, but you see how many times I got myself shaving, and I just like to point out I like a small shaving mirror.
Oh my God, my eyeliner has been off all week.
I thought it looked better than ever.
Really?
I thought it gave you a Blade Runner look that you needed. But then, of course, when it's done. You move on. The chaspa is over, and then Monday we worried about Martin Luther King and his day.
Yeah. Although it doesn't even getting over it, it seems like a weird thing too. Like it seems strange to treat
you say
it
at the end when you lose that loved one, I leave you, I stop thinking of you, this is done.
I erase you from my memory.
I flush your pictures down the toilet. You never existed. And then you go on. Now, here I am. I'm trying to, and I'll say this. The amount of people who wrote to me to express, I know that you love Bowie. You've brought it up enough times over the years. It's been ridiculously kind. Almost the fact of, I've looked at emails and I went, did I really talk about Bowie that much? I mean, with the single exception of Shrekalov, who I now probably put with I'm going to forget about with Bowie. But it's been amazing. Now, last night I was watching The Martian, and I believe is The Martian up for Best Picture and Best Actor?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Best everything. It's the best movie
Best
ever been done.
visualization. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and I'm enjoying the Martian in high def. I went the extra $1 and bought the high def. I'm glad I did. Oh, God, I really saw a lot of things to find.
You're a baller.
But I'm just sitting there and enjoying, and in a certain part of a movie, Starman comes on, and they play the whole thing. And I was not prepared for it.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, they didn't do this in any kind of homage. They did this because it fit, and they knew it would bring joy to people. I'm like, okay, I wasn't ready for that.
Oh, my God. Even thinking about that, I'm not even ready to hear it as a concept.
You better not watch it then. You better not watch it at all, because they run the whole entire song. And with just like joyful pictures. I'm going to do my impression of just the movie The Martian.
Okay.
Is the math right on this? Recheck the math. Are you crazy? Have you checked the math? If the math says we should do it, I'm like, if you guys just fucking believed in each other, you would have finished this movie in 10 minutes.
A lot of double checking the math.
Look over the math again. And I mean, their final concept I've seen in every fucking, I understand slingshotting Earth. I've watched enough Star Trek and other sci-fis. I have no idea what math is. And I went, why don't we just try the slingshotting Earth Star Wars thing?
So we use the gravitational pull.
See? Someone as
for our
dopey.
benefit.
Someone as dopey about math as you went, here's an idea.
And I'm pretty dopey when it comes to math.
Well, you're a girl. And
Well, sure.
math isn't for girls.
Oh, yeah. Math class is tough. Remember that that was a Barbie from my childhood that eventually people started to go, hey, wait, maybe Barbies are sending terrible messages. But you pressed a button and she would say different things about school. And one of them was, math class is tough. Horrible.
First Dog says Ziggy played guitar, brings back memories of convertibles and Cape Cod. Well, that seems just for you, because there's nothing about that in the lyrics. Ziggy rode a convertible all the way out to Cape Cod.
Song's a lot less cool than once you really listen to the lyrics.
Yeah, Martha's Vineyard. Huh? What?
We went to a clam bake.
And a Kennedy was there. Was there Kennedy at that bar? Oh, how they love the Kennedys up there.
Oh, yeah.
Love them.
Big fans.
You don't even have to be one of the main Kennedys. You could be any Kennedy.
Yeah.
I thought I'd met a Kennedy, but it was just a Shriver. Kind of sad.
Yeah.
Well, Donald Trump is going to be the next president. Here's why people love Donald Trump. Is because when he doesn't like his mic, he lets people fucking know about it. And that's the way I am. If I don't like something, I'm going to say it immediately.
You want a president who's a squeaky wheel. I know that.
Do you? Is that the thing? Squeaky wheel?
Yeah, because you want him to get the grease.
See, I don't. Is that an ass thing when you say get the grease?
I think so. I've never really understood it, but it's positive. You want the grease.
So go
I know
to the
that.
iBang. Does that computer not hook up?
No, it's hooked up.
Just takes a while.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the next president of the United States. There's a ton of people watching him, but he's not fucking happy with the microphone provided. And do you expect him to pay for that microphone?
Oh, no.
I know I wouldn't.
He'll have Mexico pay for it.
I know when I elect it's funny. When I elect a squeaky wheel, I want him to put the word out, you know? I want him to let everybody know that don't expect anyone to pay for this from his team. Anybody on his team who pays for it gets fired. He'll go that far.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You got it, Chris?
Yep. And it's not playing. It played a commercial, but it's not playing the video.
Now, before the show, Joe, could this be your thing before the show? Make sure that we know the videos that we're going to be playing are already put up.
Yes.
And ready to go. Because it's a very fucking funny video. But it seems like every day you just find out after the fact. Here's Brian in Oakland. Brian, we got you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had you muted here. I apologize.
It's our fault.
No, mine. I was just calling to congratulate Chris on his new Packers hat and really wish someone would take the stickers off of it for him. But more than that...
He can't return it that way. I mean, if that team loses, he's not... You plan on expensing that, Chris?
Oh, yeah, this will be expensed.
It's going to be burned like on Sunday night anyway, right? So I think...
He's not a loyal fan.
You are right. It is the same bits over and over, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Vito and Chris should go to this Packers bar in New York City there. It's in a village called Kettle of Fish.
Thought that was a lesbian bar.
Well, I don't know. I've never been there personally.
But says
I'll see myself out then.
Actually, Packers bar, lesbian bar, isn't it the same thing? By the way, I'll see myself out. What does that mean?
Because I didn't realize it was a Packers bar. I thought it was a lesbian bar.
Oh, yeah, it's a funny joke. I don't get everything today because, I've been through a lot this week. I've been sitting shivering.
I know. It's been a hard week.
The only thing that's brought any excitement to me and happiness is corny things that different celebrities have written. Like maybe now the Starman will fall back to Earth.
Yeah.
Where he will then be a diamond dog.
Seems like the stars look very different today.
Yeah, there's a
lot of those.
Just a million of those. All right. Go ahead and play it now, Chris.
$5 billion. We're going to lose that. $505 billion. And by the way, I don't like this mic. Whoever the hell brought this mic system, don't pay the son of a bitch to put it in. I'll tell you. These people. No, this mic is terrible. Stupid mic keeps popping. Do you hear that, George? Don't pay him. Don't pay him. I believe in paying. But when somebody does a bad job, like this stupid mic, you shouldn't pay the bastard. Terrible. Terrible. It's true. And you got to be tough with your people because they'll pay. They don't care. They'll pay. So we're not going to pay. I guarantee I'm not paying for this mic.
Oh, my God.
Every 2 minutes I hear like boom, boom. Anyway, I hope it's okay for you out there, but it really is. Well, you are real. Look at that. Look up there. It's packed up to the rafters. Man. Holy mackerel.
Such a strange guy.
The Mike and the, by the way, George is the same George, I guess, the old guy who.
No, it's still his guy?
Yeah.
He's dead.
George is still walking around with a checkbook. He's like, I'm sorry, Donald doesn't want me to pay you, but let 2 weeks go by. Contact me again. Right now, he's hot under the collar.
Could you imagine being the guy backstage just sweating like, what?
But seriously, why has he got that thin little mic and he's working a fucking giant place?
I would agree. It is too small for the room. By the way, I hate this mic. Ladies and gentlemen, this mic is fucking terrible.
You understand? I'm not going to pay for this mic. And you got to watch your people because they'll pay. They don't give a fuck. It's not their money. It's not George's money. George has never once cared about me. In 40 years, he hasn't cared. I care, Donald. I'm not paying him either. You say don't pay him, I don't pay him. You told me to get the cheapest mic I could find. I got it. This is what happens. That's fucking so great. Jared says, any chance we hear life on Mars today? None, Jared. None. No, there might be a chance.
It's always a chance.
Depends how much we break today. Well, I guess next week it's going to be in the name of love. What? You know what I hate about that fucking song? It's factually incorrect. They bring up times of the day that didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what they say.
Early morning, April 4th. They're wrong with that. That's the wrong time. Okay, maybe it fit your song a little bit. You know, you could go, when you're in Memphis, you could go over to the hotel where he was killed and they keep the bedroom exactly the same way. It's like, you can peek into the bedroom and you can look at the thing and I'm like, I don't want to go over, see a fucking murder scene unless I'm going over there like with a pencil trying to pick up a coffee cup. I think I'm onto something here.
Okay. No one's been looking over this site.
I don't think I could be a detective because I'm not detail-oriented. When I see those guys and they'll find a small thread, I never would find that thread.
I could tell someone, like, make sure you comb through this whole place.
Yeah.
Look for all the little clues. I'm going to be thinking the big ideas, concepts.
I went on a ride-along and I turned in a gun that I found, like, near the body. It was mine. I guess it had fallen out of my jacket. I'm like, what's this?
Oh, boy.
Picking it up just by the trigger on a little pencil. I put that in a plastic bag, send it to the boys downtown, get to the bottom of it. Where's my gun at? And I'm just looking around. Fuck, did I even bring it today? Because I don't bring it every day. Sunday night is the Critics' Choice with TJ Miller. I'm totally hoping that comes off big for everybody.
Yeah, that's very exciting. TJ Miller's a funny guy. That TJ
funny
Miller.
How?
Like a clown, like he's here to amuse me.
Oh, he sounds great then. Hano says, didn't watch the debate. Is it a debate if they are talking to the TV audience and not each other? And then Ken says this, Trump needs to bring his own mic. That's what I do. Can't trust other people with that shit. He's right about that. Should have your own. George should be bringing a mic from home. I don't like that thin little fucking mic thing anyway. I don't like
I like a mic that you can work with too. Like I can't like this little thing. It looks very fragile.
You know what I hate most of all is when they have the little thing. And
the laugh.
Like, and they just click it on you, and you got it down in your pants pocket. Mm-hmm. So you're in a room, and for you, all you hear is yourself. You're like, I don't know if any of you people can hear me. I don't see how you could, because I'm not holding a mic. But you would be surprised how much you actually grab a mic and work it in different conversations.
Yeah.
And then if you're on something where you have those like little lavaliers, you're just going like this in the air. I don't know what to do with my hands.
just resting them under your chin.
Just grab your lapel. You know what I mean, folks? I look at what I need. I looked at the lapel when I come here. They were worried because they thought someone broke into your signal. So I taught them, not just Ron being an asshole. I gotta find some people that care about me. I gotta get a team together of people who give even the slightest fuck.
Can I sign up, please? For your team that cares.
I don't want your respect. I thought Joey Jojo might be the guy. I thought Vito might be the guy. I can't even get Vito to pay attention to RBI. Got a note about somebody else on an RBI thing today. But, Vito likes to get swole. That's his thing. Joe's thing is, the Vikings. That's got him down a little bit. Don't pay for this mic, George. Don't. 2 days from now, they'll be eating lunch. Did you pay for that fucking mic, or did you do what I said? I know I didn't pay. I'm going to check. If I see a fucking receipt for $200 for that mic that came out of my $18 billion, I'll go crazy. I like the face that he made, like he smelled a fart because of the thought of someone paying for that mic.
Disgusts him.
Yeah. Well, somebody was supposed to do that, go in, do a mic check. Hey, did you notice how dead the streets are today?
Very quiet. My neighborhood was really quiet coming into work. The train was dead. And then it's normally packed. It's normally like I can't even get a seat. But it was very quiet. But I guess it's that leading into that 3-day weekend.
But maybe people are taking a fourth day?
Going for
they're
4.
They're smarter than us.
Damn it, they're
we
smart.
Have extra days we could take. That's when we take them. We normally take a Wednesday.
Yeah, just a random.
Yeah, and just the last hour. Like, let's use an hour now, the day that we have off. We should have been taking the 4-day weekend.
Yeah, smart.
Well, like I said years ago in the 80s, everybody's working for the weekend. You know what I mean?
You did say that. And you know what? You ended up being right.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's sad. Robert, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ron. I used to help the guy at church I used to go to, this big church, and used to help him do the sound. And they had put the little lavalier on the pastor, and one of the reasons you don't want to use those very much is you forget you have them. And right before the service, we had him all wired up. We were down doing something else, and he ran out to go take a quick piss. And he went in there and took a big gigantic piss with a really nice sounding stream, and it was broadcast to the entire sanctuary full of about 2,500 people, and it was hysterical. So you always want to have a mic in your hand so you remember you got it.
I did the same thing. I was, I forget what I was doing, some stupid weekend that they have fucking DJs host. I forget, it was Star Trek weekend or some dumb shit.
Okay.
And, like in between while we're, cutting all these fucking billboards for it, I go in to take a piss, and when I come out, everyone in the control room was like, we heard you piss, and I'm like, well, you guys could use the same restroom. It's not like there's any women here. It's us. So we all use the same fucking men's room together. So I don't find myself overly embarrassed about you hearing me piss. But apparently it's something like they always love to do, is tell someone after the fact, we heard you piss. And some people just like scream and run into the park like, no, I've been heard. I'm a human being with a bladder.
I mean, once I confessed to a murder like that. I didn't mean to, but I was just talking to myself. I killed them all, of course.
Well, there you go. Oh, God. There you go, Pissy. Of course you killed them all. Cut them up into little pieces. I tried to get a saw so I could chop the entire body up. Pissing like the blood of my victims. I wish I was pissing into their ocular cavities right now. I'm proud to say my friend Hard Rock Johnny is on the hotline. And he was like, call me on the cell phone. You see, young Jimmy did that as Bob Dylan the other night.
I did see that.
It's up on the iBank today. Hard Rock Johnny.
Benningtons.
Hey, buddy.
What's happening, my friends?
Cool.
So, can I just talk about that microphone?
Yeah, please help yourself.
That actually is the proper microphone that you need to use for a podium. Those are the pencil microphones, and they're not omnidirectional. They're just so you hear just what's coming out of Donald Trump's mouth, which we all need to hear so you don't pick up the background noise. So that was the proper mic. It doesn't seem like it was a properly functioning mic. It sounds like it may have had a broken
Let me just
diaphragm.
explain something to people out there in satellite radio land. Johnny knows sound.
He does.
The two things he understands, sound and vision. He has been on his show at the Hard Rock. And how long has your career been, Johnny?
16 years here.
In 16 years, he's put on 7 shows over the span of that
Good average.
16 years. So he understands sound. And when you do something at the Hard Rock, perfection.
That is very true. I noticed that. I got to witness it firsthand.
Yeah.
Mics are very important. Like, if you're going to do a radio show, you want to make sure you bring microphones and make sure you have them there at the very beginning of the day when you load in.
Yes.
But, you know,
These guys
doesn't
were
always
very
happen
thorough
way,
with
but-
that.
Why, did something happen where they didn't bring mics?
I didn't say that. I just said you got to really.
The way you're laughing, it felt like my team fucked it.
I don't know, but it wasn't. No, that wasn't your team. You didn't. That's not your team. Your team was on top of shit. Your team wasn't responsible for equipment.
Must be the water over. So, what team are we talking about then?
That doesn't matter. It's over. It's over. And it was the greatest live show I've ever done in this building. Was the Bennington Thanksgiving show.
That's amazing for you to say, because like I said, he's done 7 shows.
That's crazy.
That
So
was
we're one of
number
7.
one.
Number 1.
Yeah.
We're number 1.
Number 2 would have been the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. I think Aerosmith was number 3. So you were above Aerosmith, the Rolling Stones. Velvet Revolver came in at 4.
That sounds pretty good, Gail.
Thanks. Dream on.
That's good.
Wow.
Dreams come true.
For a hot minute, I thought maybe Steven Tyler was in this studio.
Well,
guys.
Wow.
You know. So, Johnny, are you taking a nice long weekend for yourself? You gonna do a
No,
project
I'm
this
working.
weekend?
I have a 5-day work week this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope you get a little extra cheddar for that, you know?
No, that's I get the
OT?
same cheddar.
You
No,
ought to lean over into that trough, take a nice big cold drink for yourself.
I'm a little confused being here on a Friday. It's kind of odd.
You didn't recognize her? I don't
didn't
know
see
who she... So I saw her. She was a famous person. I couldn't tell you exactly who, though.
I just saw her peripherally.
Yeah, that was good.
Took me a minute.
You know what? Do not lose confidence
I didn't.
in your vocabulary.
This is a little halfway through.
She's from Orange is the New Black.
Thank you.
I believe the lesbian.
That
Hey,
Is that
doesn't
your
really.
only way of fucking defining
It
people?
also doesn't help at all in that show.
Yeah, really. They all.
She's kind of low to the ground, wide of the road. And she's done other stuff.
That's a great.
Leah Delaria.
Love her. She's great.
She
She's
just
great on
walked
the
by.
show.
You just saw her peripheral. What else has she done? Because she's very familiar to me.
Oof.
But don't you hate the way he defines people by their sexuality?
Yeah.
That was the first thing that came to me.
But yeah, she's great on that show.
She's on Californication. She's on Will and
Thank you.
Grace.
That's
I've
where you
seen
know.
every episode.
You liked that show, right?
Well, I dream of Californication.
The Drew Carey Show.
Okay, Chris, enough. I don't want to
Stop.
this to go on forever.
She kind of looks like Drew Carey a little with when she has the glasses on.
You know what? Fucking Chris looks like IMDb right now, the way he's fucking just listing people's credits.
She did an episode of Friends.
Okay, who cares?
Oh, I do.
She was on Matlock 1.
He was good. So, I don't know, Johnny. Today might be my last show, and I just
No,
I
can't
might
be
check
right.
into a monastery and just sing Bowie songs to myself forever. Well, this pressure of not being able to, you know.
I know.
Hey, by the way, up on the iBang, our interview, myself and Gail with Neil Felding is up, and the audio, and people could go and listen.
Oh, awesome.
And, you know, the other day you thought that he fell in love with you.
I was hoping.
Yeah.
It seemed like it a little bit. And then he was saying, oh, when we come back, you should come to the show. And I was like, yeah, totally. And then he said it to you like a minute later. And I was like, oh, so everyone's going.
I didn't know that I was going.
Oh, I thought it was just me.
Should I bring an overnight bag to the show? I'll tell you what, I'll bring an overnight bag just in case.
So should I shampoo's too much? You have great hair, so I assume that you have products of your own.
I'll probably use the same shampoo as you anyway.
That's fine.
By the way, we're talking about Martin Luther King, and the USAF had to apologize for their flyer that they put up. We could never seem to get to the iBang. So here it is, the flyer, and they had a Target shoot that they invited everybody in, and they've got a picture of Martin Luther King there, and the Martin Luther King Jr. Fun Shoot.
Oh no!
Is set up for January 18.
No.
Now, do you think they did that on purpose or accident?
I feel like they did it on purpose.
I actually don't know what would be worse. Would it be worse to do it maliciously, or is it worse to be that much of an idiot?
All right, let's just let somebody from the middle of the country, Joe, decide. Joe, did they do this on purpose or accident?
I think on purpose.
I think people just forgot. You know, they just see these things as holidays now. You know what I mean?
Right. But is that worse? Is it worse to just be that disconnected to the day than just be a malicious, shitty person or like...
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because you're just sleepwalking through life.
You just like don't understand anything.
You get 2 rounds and lunch though for $20.
Well, that does sound fun.
Well, what's
the lunch makes it fun.
Make sure it isn't a racist lunch. Don't look at it. You ever see when people get mad at racist lunches? I'm like, I'm not going to apologize for fried chicken. It's a good lunch.
Such a good lunch.
Johnny, you enjoy shooting? You're a shooter?
You know, I have never fired a firearm in my entire life.
And you live in Jersey.
Yeah, I know. It's unusual, right?
Yeah. Normally, you would have to get your button by the time you're 18, 19 years old.
I've never shot a gun.
You're a peaceful man.
You know what? I was watching a Jersey movie the other day and laughing along. It was Copland. It's kind of an underrated. It was just
great Stallone.
Yeah, you hate him?
No, I said great. It's a great Stallone flick.
Yeah, well, it's Stallone where he actually acted like an actor instead of a superhero. But it's about New York cops who live in this one Jersey town and have kind of taken it over. And that thing that Jersey seems so distant on that side of the river, but then Queens will be like, we're New York, you know? We're New York. And the Jersey has even a better view of the city.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it does.
And yet people act like, what? You live over in Jersey? Like what, a clown? Like what?
I talk about that all the time with people. I'm on the 16th floor of a building. I could see the tip of Manhattan all the way up the Hudson Valley. I have the entire skyline. I live in New York. I have this great skyline view. You do? Of New Jersey? Is that what you're seeing when you look across the river?
And how far is it from your apartment to Midtown, where you work?
22 minutes with no traffic.
See, now that's nuts. Now somebody in Montauk's like, I live in New York, and it's going to take you 2.5 hours to get out there.
Yeah, but also, like, let's say people in Far Rockaway say they live in New York City.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't.
You're like, really? Because that's fucking far. Or the Bronx are like, New York City. You're like, you're pretty goddamn far away from anything.
You're upstate.
Yeah.
Dude, there's people who live in Manhattan that it takes longer to take a subway to get to here than it does for me to drive from Jersey.
It's true. But then when there's traffic, you sit in it.
Yeah, that's what happens, though.
But that's when you smoke your weed, the fucking weed that you enjoy so much.
Yeah, that's me.
That reefer.
Hey, are you happy with your new coach?
I guess I have to be, but I don't know. I mean, what's changed? The only thing that's changed is Coughlin's gone because you have the same defensive coordinator. They're allegedly bringing in their offensive coordinator is going to be the guy who was there, Sullivan, who was there beforehand, who's a good dude, and he was good. He helped Eli a bunch of years back when he was a quarterback coach. And then they're going to supposedly bring in Joe Philbin, who's going to be the assistant head coach, which I never understood. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I really wish they would have gotten rid of Jerry Reese, because that's really, it was a personnel issue, but I guess not.
I got to tell you, I mean, it's good to talk to a thoughtful person like yourself. Yesterday, I had to talk with Chris. And I tried to explain, even a non-Giants fan, the same exact things that you were saying, but he was screaming like, no, man, we're going all the way. But, by the way, I know a lot of people don't respect Joe Philbin, but the person who loved him was Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers hasn't been the same since Joe Philbin left. Now, he went to Miami and everybody hated him as a head coach. The Eagles got a new head coach, and we'll check in to see how some of their fans feel about it.
How do you guys feel about it? Right there, two Eagle fans sitting in the studio. How do you feel?
Well, 50 years of nothing, Now,
it can't get any worse, right?
Now, here's the thing. The state of Pennsylvania, we've got 6 Super Bowls. We're all excited. Between Philly and Pittsburgh, we've got 6 big Super Bowls. But let's see how
many does Philly have out of that?
Here's an expert that is an expert Eagles fan talking about the way he feels about the new Eagles coach.
Motherfucker, you decided to hire Doug fucking Peterson. Doug Peterson. It took you 3 fucking weeks to hire this goddamn sorry ass bitch. What the fuck happened to fucking John Gruden, Hugh Jackson, Sean McDermott? You didn't even interview these motherfuckers. Oh yeah, nigga, you got Jeffrey Lurie, right, man, with this receding hairline, motherfucker, bitch. You want to talk shit about my hairline? I don't give a fuck, bud. You got this punk ass nigga giving a goddamn press conference and shit, right? Oh yeah, I think it was the right thing to do. Motherfucker, how many times are you gonna say fucking Bitch, you stutter more the fuck than I do, man. Oh, well, I think it was the right decision to fire fucking Chip Kelly 6 days early. That way it would give us a proper advantage to going through all the possible coaching candidates. Doug fucking Peterson! Doug Peterson!
It's kind of how I feel inside.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He's emotional, but he's not wrong. I'm just perplexed by it.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. I now honestly think the Niners are on their way into something big.
I just feel like it's as though they don't want to build a good football team. It's like they don't care.
Remember when Stanley was telling us yesterday the Niners would still be getting rid of Kaepernick?
That's what I heard.
No way.
Oh, Jesus.
Just the everything that you said on here and stuck to yesterday is the exact opposite.
I think the only issue with Kaepernick out there is that none of the guys really like him. That's the issue that came up with him, and he kind of, they say a coach loses the team. Well, no one on the team liked Colin Kaepernick this year, and that's where a lot of the problems come from. So if they change the personnel around, which I think Chip Kelly did a really nice job of changing personnel in Philly when he got there in the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
They could probably...
But he really wants that quarterback. But the thing is, Kaepernick, one of the big fucking riffs on him is that he doesn't work very hard. I really don't like to work hard. But if you remember that first season, everybody was enamored with him. There's talent there, and he does seem like he could fit into this system. But then again, who knows? These teams change so much one year to the next.
It's kind of weird. There isn't a lot of consistency in the NFL, is there?
Let me ask you this. Who's going to win? Well, they've set it up so there can't be. They want 7 and 9 teams to fucking have a shot at the...
They want parity.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen Seahawks Panthers this week?
I think the Panthers are going to win. Mm-hmm. I think that I'm kind of sick of Seattle lucking their way in a couple of times. I mean, that field goal... Sorry, Joey. Jojo, that botched field goal was just horrible. I felt bad for the guy, but they shouldn't even be there based on that. No. And I think that Carolina's going to whoop them.
It'll be interesting. This is kind of the best weekend of football, and yet I'm not excited about any single one of the games. How about KC and the Pats?
I think that your future head coach's team is going to be getting their ass kicked by the Patriots.
Chris, you're going against Chris on everything here.
Yeah, I don't get it. Look, Chiefs are +5. Take the Chiefs. They're going to win. Look, Packers +7. It's easy. Take them. That's what you're supposed to do.
Oh my God,
Seahawks
the Cardinals.
+2.5. Seahawks are going to fucking take this. I mean, it's fate. That missed field goal is fate.
Who's the one team that you pick that's giving up points?
The Broncos -7. They got this. Peyton Manning will lead that team to glory.
Peyton hasn't really done anything this year.
He had an amazing second half last week.
He handed the ball off. Be honest. He didn't throw the ball at all.
He was a little rusty. It's been 6 weeks. I mean, he's coming off the bench.
That's the exact opposite of amazing, what you just described.
Bold prediction to take the Broncos when the Steelers have a quarterback with he's got torn muscles in his chest, won't be able to throw, and their number one receiver is out, and their number one running back is highly doubtful.
So why is it only 7 points then? It should be 11.
It should be a higher line, but that's how Vegas wants to do it, so they get money on both sides. Because if they go over 7.5, people are going to start going the other way. So you gotta get that money. So get that money in on both sides.
Yesterday was
But you're
7.
just telling us that they're going to easily, anybody who gives up 7 is going to easily win.
Now it's -8. It changed from yesterday, so now it's -8.
It's a slow climb.
Yeah.
I think Lock City, right?
Oh, I'm fucking living in Locktown right now.
I know one thing, you got locked jaw. Johnny, I got to take a break.
All right, boys and girls.
All right.
You have a good weekend.
We love you, big guy. Talk to you later. We'll be right back with what apparently seems to be a man putting his hairy bald ass on a baby. You heard it here. We're right back, Bennington. Oh, rebel. Bowie, David. It is the Bennington Show on a Friday. A lot to get to today. Chris Stanley has told us that the Raiders have bought some ground in San Antonio, which may be a bluff or may not be a bluff. But then you put something odd at the end of your story, which was something about water.
Oh, yeah, because, all right, so San Antonio's 150 miles away from the water. So I don't know, it would make sense if you have Raiders in San Antonio. Shouldn't Raiders here need the water?
So you think of Raiders as pirates?
Yeah, I see, like, because they have the eye patch.
Yeah, but that doesn't make you a pirate. Plenty of people have lost eyes and never been out to sea.
Yeah, I guess I always thought they were just like rapists or something. Like, what is their thing?
You can raid places and not do it from a boat, you know?
But, I mean, their logo is quite piratey. I get it.
Well,
but
it's a guy with a helmet. I mean, there's no pirate about it. The only thing you can say is the guy lost an eye. If that makes you a pirate, then Sammy Davis Jr. is a pirate. I don't think that's true.
A good point. He's wearing he's wearing like an old-timey football helmet.
I mean, they've really made up a thing. But let's suppose you don't even look at their logo and you just say the term raider. A raider does not mean a pirate. There could be raids on inland buildings as well.
A raider, I guess, could be a barbarian.
Yes, a pillager.
With the logo, with the eye patch, I associate with pirates. And also the swords they have are like swashbuckling swords.
Yeah,
like
but
swords are swords. I mean, I've seen Muslims use swords like that.
And to be honest with you, a curved sword like that is even quite Arab in its...
Yeah, that's why I said a Muslim.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, people have lost eyes a lot of different places.
Sure.
Very few of them wear an old kind of a leather...
football helmet. I mean, this is obviously from an old football injury.
Yeah. He got poked in the eye.
Probably by that sword.
All right, let me go over to Joey Jojo, who's just talking his ass off in there. What are you guys yapping about?
I'm just screening calls with the interns.
Now, what would you think of a raider? What was his occupation? Yeah.
I would say one who raids.
Right.
Or raves?
Now, you don't raid just from the water, correct?
No, you can do it from land.
Yeah.
You can do it from the sky.
I'd be surprised to see a sky raider.
In fact, it seems like a raider must be on land.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say someone's raiding our ship, would you?
No.
So it's got to be a land
There's
attack.
your girl. Going by.
Oh, yeah.
And look who she's with, Sandy.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, they're both great.
She was on Will and Grace, too.
You know a lot about her.
Because he just went to an IMDb.
Okay.
And that's what he likes to do, find out some facts and report.
And
Fun
yet
fact.
this you know nothing about. Raiders.
I made a lot of assumptions in this Raiders logo and their lifestyle. Because I always figured they're raiding. They're going to be in some ships, come up on the land, and raid a seaside town. Is how I saw the Raiders.
But why seaside?
You're thinking 2 by sea.
Because they hit the town.
I mean, if you want to be honest, a lot of raids to me were done by Native Americans on forts and stuff. They were always saying they got raided.
They like to raid by seaside because they get back on their ship and they get the hell out of there.
To be honest with you, just looking at this guy, I have no idea what he's about.
That's what a Viking does.
Yeah,
They raid
we're
from the
talking
seaside.
Vikings. Seaside raids.
Merriam-Webster defines raider as a person who attacks an enemy from the enemy's territory.
Yeah, so that's just the opposite.
Shit.
You're already in their territory, right? And by the way, thanks for being smart enough to look up the actual thing.
Thank you.
Rather than just go by, that seems like a pirate's sword and the guy lost an eye.
I think that's a parrot on his shoulder there.
I'd love to see that. I mean, the Buccaneers are the pirate ones.
Yeah.
You've already got pirates and you've got Vikings. These are
By the
land
way,
attackers.
These are all three. The three that we brought up are all raping people.
Oh, yeah, these are
as
all
well.
rapists.
Big time.
Yeah, the Vikings raped, Buccaneers raped, and Raiders will rape.
Yeah, if they're in enemy territory, sure.
Raiders gonna rape. That's how the
If I'm
saying
going to
goes.
be honest about this, I think a 49er would rape, too. I don't trust those old dudes. They all seem old and out there.
They're
Yeah,
hermits.
they're just gone west.
They come about a woman. They're going to take what they want.
They come upon a woman, he says. Ray in Georgia.
Perfectly in San Antonio, the Raiders, Mexicans raided the Alamo, so you don't have to come by to see the raid something.
No, you've come up with a good point.
Yeah.
It seemed like a lot of raiding went on in Texas. And San Antonio wants a football team and has won it one for a lot of years. It's a good sports town. I don't take anything away from Oakland, where the Raiders belong. But if they're going to move, San Antonio seems like a good, rough town for it.
Yeah.
The land they bought is right in between San Antonio and Austin. So they're trying to get, both
So they've
places.
raided that land.
I don't see a lot of Austin fans.
They're not gonna-
They're college football fans in Austin.
Longhorns. That's what they like.
Plus, the colors already match the Spurs, the Raiders. It fits perfect. It's a perfect match.
Well, if it's perfect.
Why do we need the colors to match?
I don't know. I mean, Pittsburgh does it. All their teams have the same colors, Why do they have to
And
be
how
the
has
only
that
city?
helped out?
The Wiz Khalifa song Black and Yellow came out. So now San Antonio can do their own
He's got
thing.
a point.
What year was that, too?
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
You think you hate that song, and then you're singing along with it.
Well, yellow's not an easy thing to sing.
Not do.
Hey, Mike Brown is going to be stopping in. He's performing at the Wonderful World of Boning, a sex ed show with a sense of humor tomorrow night at Union Hall in Brooklyn. Is Michelle with 1L coming in with him, or?
No, she is not.
She was with him earlier.
Yeah. And he's also been just featured on the interrobang.com for his web series, Can't Stop, Won't Stop.
Well, that was sometime in the past because Dan is in the opening one.
Yes.
Using the N-bomb. And we
As
can't
usual.
stop. And we won't stop. All right, so let's bring in Mike Brown. New episodes coming in 2016. His Twitter is, Mike Brown. Mike Brown is here. We are fans of his web series, Can't Stop, Won't Stop.
Yeah.
Our buddy Dan was in that with you.
Mm-hmm.
Using the N-bomb, letting it just, flow. I mean, the way it
Easy
rolled off
for
his
him.
tongue, I'm like, that's happened before.
He wanted to say it.
Because most of the other words he struggled with until he got to
That's
that.
where he was
Yeah.
in his comfort zone.
He was all in it. When we wrote the sketch, we said, who's going to drop this bomb the best? Got to be Dan.
Well, we talked about that in New York City, the comfortability that Puerto Rican kids and Asian kids
Yeah.
have with it.
They gentrified it. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's like we don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
I barely say it.
But that's because of the power of hip-hop culture. You know what I mean? Hip-hop culture, when young kids of any ethnic background, like Russians get here, and they're like, oh, okay, this is our story. You know what I mean? This is what we've been through.
I knew an Egyptian kid who would drop it constantly in high school.
A lot of Arab kids. That's true.
Nonstop. Every other word is an M-bomb.
But that was very new for me because I grew up in the South. I was born in Florida, but I moved here when I was 14. So the first time I heard kids of other races, like Puerto Rican kids, Dominican kids, I was like, wait a second, are you...
Because Cuban kids in Miami would not? Or?
No, I mean, maybe that's changed now, but certainly when I was a kid, Cuban kids in Miami were not throwing it around that way.
They were just all about being Cuban.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up in New York and Harlem, it's like we would say it, but not as much because like there was this whole thing like we buried the N-word at one time. I don't know if you guys remember that. And then there was this whole coalition thing. And then I remember certain comedians said don't say it anymore. And so people stopped saying it. And then everybody else started saying it. Yeah. And now it's just like, it's a weird thing. That's why we have the sketch. It's like, who kind of cares, I guess? Like,
where is it? What does it have to do with? Yet, still, in certain places it'll stop a clock. I mean, there are certain places that if it gets said by anybody, it stops a clock. But there's no way to ever talk to kids about anything. Let's face it.
Yeah, you can't bring it up. Yeah. I heard there was a guy who did an open mic recently in the city, and he had a joke, white dude, and he said the word, and some random black dude just punched him in the face. Just like, there you go. I don't know what the joke was. Maybe it wasn't.
There's a thing up. See, anyone who is in their early 20s now has been raised in a world where sensitive to everything. There are people who worry about fat shaming and people worried about whatever kind of shaming. But Penn State, they put up a thing. They want the kids to come to them with whatever has happened that makes them feel bad at all, even if the college doesn't act on it. But if they hear someone say something, they can go and say, look, this person makes me uncomfortable.
You can just do that?
Yeah.
You can just do it, yeah. And a lot of kids get nervous, young kids get nervous if they hear two friends busting each other's balls, right? Which I grew up in a world where that was because you don't know how to say I love you, you're my friend. You sit there.
If you want to die, you can say that.
You say awful things to each other instead,
Yeah.
But young people we raise them up to this point now that never hurt anyone's feelings and never get your feelings hurt.
It's scary to me. I have two little brothers. They're 10 and 13.
Yeah.
And I'm 30 something. I'm not going to say what I am, but I'm 30 something. So it's weird growing up and you're just busting everybody's chops and everything. And then my brothers are like, "Oh, why are you saying these things to me? What do you mean I can't play basketball as good as you?" I thought, and you got to give them an award, you from his back, you got to tell them he's special and all this.
Yeah. They get their feelings hurt way easy.
And that's a product of their environment and the way they were taught.
We raised them. We raised them like that through our schools.
Yes.
My parents would say, hit back or whatever. And they would know, like, if they went to my defense, it would be worse for me. So they sometimes might send my older brother or sister to go out in the street and get even, but they wouldn't call them the school or anything themselves. But now, this generation of parents immediately go, my daughter's having a problem. Someone made fun of her red hair. Someone made fun of her braces. So then when they get older, they think that's the way the world works.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing for society, though? Is that
it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing about it.
Well, we tend to have a hard time finding those happy mediums. Like, obviously, we don't, do we want children saying hateful things, being cruel to each other, pushing other kids over the edge?
Yeah.
Do we want kids who can't defend themselves when it comes down to being actually, especially when you're out of a school scenario, if you go to a small school and everyone is very close and very tight, and then you find yourself in an environment that's different, suddenly you have none of those defenses that would be important to learn just to be a human being. So you've got to find a way to have both, to teach people to be kind to one another
you have to
and not
be
hurt
kind.
each other. But then, don't be a wuss about it either. Like,
Right.
when it's time to throw down. There's a time to throw down.
Such a climactic ending. It was like, everyone talk, love each other. Also, someone got to get punched in the face. Then,
Well, I think one thing we don't do as a society is vote on these. So, I mean, at the top, I think 100%, we don't want to blow up little black girls in school or church.
Right.
Selma.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, we agree. Let's move on to the next thing. Let's do this one at a time. But it just kind of happens.
It's scary. It's scary. I just hope that we get to a place where we're all tolerant, but we can still ask each other questions if we don't understand something.
Right.
Like if you don't have to be, bullied into not being a bully. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think growing up, there was a lot of people who were bullies because they didn't understand other people. I got bullied for quote unquote sounding white as a kid.
Right.
And it's just like that. To me, that's stupid. But if you talk to someone and say, hey, why do you sound like this? Oh, my parents talk like this. Okay,
Right.
cool. But they shouldn't just say, okay, I'm not going to bully him, but I still don't understand why he talks like that, and I still have a problem with him, and he keeps sounding like this. I might just punch him in the face. You know what I mean? I don't want that to happen. So,
Well, see, that's the interesting thing. It's like I don't think until I saw Spike Lee's School Days that I understood that thing that happens in the black community. I found it to be fascinating, but I don't know if that movie could be made now without people being incredible. Well, first of all, people are angry with Spike no matter what he does. No matter what he does,
he's at a Knick
freak
game
out.
and everyone's pissed off. Just watching some basketball. What are we doing?
You know what's funny? That Spike just has that little smile. Like, nobody's mad. You know what I mean? He never looks like he's upset. But you came up with a good point of why not talk about it. But everyone's anti-bullying is still a crowd of people trying to stomp somebody once again. It's no different than picking on the kid with braces,
Mm-hmm.
It's like high definition bullying.
Yeah.
It's just a different way of looking at it. We think it's clearer, but we're not really sure. It's like, the South Park guys did a great, season just about everything. I think there was one about, Caitlyn Jenner, and they're just like, okay, she's a hero, but some people just don't understand what's going on. And then it becomes another thing. And it's like, let's just talk. Can we just have an open dialogue and talk and just see what's going on with everybody so we don't punch people in the face? That's really all I got. Touch people, don't punch anybody.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
But there is always a point where you're like, you know what? I'm going to punch you in the fucking.
Yeah.
I can't put up with it anymore. By the way, Caitlyn Jenner they showed the trailer to her new season, and now she's saying she's worried that maybe it wasn't fair to get rid of Bruce.
I was so shocked when I heard her say that, and she's mourning, like she's crying a little, she's getting emotional, and she's like, maybe it wasn't time. I forget the way she phrased it, but it was something to the effect of maybe it wasn't time to.
She feels like Bruce is dead. Yeah, Bruce is dead,
and now he's gone, and I've destroyed him.
Yeah, she kind of killed a person in a sense, or an idea.
Right, but here's the thing. I feel like with everyone else, we make them take a long time. Are you sure this is what you want? Is this? But for some reason, she just fast-tracked this whole thing. She had no exposure to the community before this. Mm-hmm. She did no research, it seemed like. And I'm only going off of the first season, where she was just like, this is my first time being around gay people. This is my first time meeting
She's still a conservative
trans person.
Yeah. She's still a conservative white man.
And I feel like, she did not delve into, if you're going to change your gender, you might want to talk to someone about it, have a conversation before making some of those decisions.
She just digs dresses.
Yeah.
She really loves dresses.
Who doesn't? I get it.
Yeah.
It's fun. Makeup is great.
If you could wear a dress, Chris, would you?
If I got away with wearing a skirt, fucking great. I hate pants.
Oh my God, it's great.
I know one thing. I put a robe on as soon as I get home, and I'm happy. And if I go walk down the street in a robe, I do it.
Thinking about
the summertime, the freedom we have.
It just would be fantastic.
Let your shit breathe.
Yeah.
Mike Brown's in studio. Mike's web series, Can't Stop, Won't Stop, is available now at can'tstopshow.com. New episodes coming in 2016. And Mike's performing at the Wonderful World of Boning, Sex Ed with a Sense of Humor show tomorrow night at Union Hall in Brooklyn. On Twitter, it's @Yo Mike Brown.
That's why you were in with Jenny today, right?
Yeah. They came in with, to talk about that sex ed videos.
Was it fun to talk sex with Jenny?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was such a fun time. We delved into the pubic hair situation with African Americans, shaved, unshaved, and all these other things. It was great. It was great. A lot of expose things happening there.
Well, the thing about Jenny, and I don't know whether she knows it, but to most young men who grew up in the 90s, that was their first masturbation. And then they come in here and I'll have comics in and they'll go like this, holy fuck, is that? And I go, yeah. And they'll go, look, funny story. I go, I already know what it is, dude.
It's not necessary.
MTV.
It's implied.
Bikini. God. Well, you said even for you, right, Chris?
She was the first playmate that I remember that I was like, holy shit, she's really hot.
Yeah.
She's very attractive. Then she was on Singled Out, so it was like,
yeah.
I loved Singled Out.
She might have been the first funny, beautiful woman.
Yeah, because she was she was very attractive, but then she was silly. She was goofy.
It's almost freakish when a beautiful person is also funny. It doesn't even make sense.
It's unfair.
Yeah, it is unfair.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
I know there's a video in here, but I'm sorry. I think she should get a lot of credit as pushing barriers, because she was like one of the first, I think, like really, not one of the first, but from my generation growing up, you see someone who was like, I guess like she had a different past, and then she did Singled Out, and then she just kept going and just has like a beautiful, great career. Yeah. You know, some people can have bad things to say, but not really.
Yeah.
She had a great career.
But I remember like she would be in a bikini and just a knockout, and she'd be like, oh, I just farted. You're just like, what? How did this happen?
I love you. You think?
How did
I love you.
It smells like love a little bit. That's fine.
Yeah. So how did this show come along that you guys are doing in Brooklyn?
Oh, the show. Okay, so Lux Alptram, she's done a lot of sex education for years, and she would have like these collections of old sex ed videos, right? And they're from like the 70s, the 80s, and they're just like really, really funny. It's a bit inappropriate because, you know, now we're talking about sex and transgender and all these things. Like, we just talk about it. Back then, we did not talk about this. You know what I mean? I mean, it was barely like black people in some of these sex ed videos. You know what I mean? So it's like very, very tight. But they're really funny. They're really funny. There was one that's I don't know I'm not going to say the company's name, but it's like a whole sex ed video, and at the end it's like, sponsored by Starbucks type of deal. Just funny. It's super inappropriate. Crazy things that were going on. And it's good. It's a really fun show. It's going to be me, Julia Rossi, and Lux Alptram, and we are going to be talking some crap. It's going to be great.
Well, I always thought like in the black community it was just don't do it, is because the church was kind of the ones who started it.
A little bit.
They recommend not doing it as much, and certainly it doesn't seem, if I'm going to go by athletes, that there's any kind of pull out knowledge.
Well, we adopted the pull out method. We added some church. We call it pull out and pray. Okay. It's pop.
How many NBA guys? And wasn't there just a football player that just?
Antonio Cromartie has, I think, kids 11 and 12 because there's twins, and he got a vasectomy.
He had a vasectomy, and he's still going to have twins, and it's his 12th child, and he's what, 31, 32?
He's 32.
It's just crazy.
He's a potent man.
Yeah.
But there is like 8 different women. It's not just with the same woman.
Right.
8 different women in like 6 different states. Like, he's all over the
he's good.
place.
Really covering ground.
He's doing a nice little tour.
He has like a head cold.
Everyone in the NFC has a fucking goddamn kid.
There's away games. Every kid was born a mile and a half away from the stadium.
But it's good. He's covering ground. It's like playing Risk. Like he's kind of...
Well, it's Risk, but using the NFC East.
Any game he just drops a baby. That's great. I love him. That's, oh my goodness. I couldn't do it. You know what? I do remember that. We did have the sex ed, but the thing was like, the church would say, don't have sex, but then your friends were like, did you have sex yet?
Right.
So it was those two things colliding. Right. You know, I didn't have a video, so it's always great to watch these videos.
I think a lot of parents they forget that when they were, particularly boys, when you're pretty young and you're thinking, I haven't had sex yet, it's a scary thought to a 8th, 9th grader, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I look like an idiot. Here I am in the 9th grade and I'm a virgin. You know what I mean? Like, kids feel that way.
Yeah.
That's so funny. And then girls feel the opposite, where it's like, it's like if you've done something, it's like this shameful thing. Yeah, so you have to hide it. So yeah, it's the opposite.
Yeah, but some little girls just want babies. You know what I mean? Like some little girls just want something to put on their hip and walk around the neighborhood with.
Everybody wants those accessories, right?
Yeah.
So.
I remember sex ed, we had to split up, which, you know, was like the boys went in one room, the girls went in the other. And I've always been curious how different those conversations were.
They said don't trust women. That's all they said.
I would imagine they did. But yeah, like I remember certain specific things that they didn't explain, which are shocking to me now as an adult woman. Like just like the menstrual cycle was just like basically how to hide it from other people, how to be clean about it, but not like really explaining the entire process or anything like that. And then the thing I remember most is just being taught how to be discreet. Like you that was like a good 20 minutes. Like, and also just being like, oh my God, yeah, don't, like when it finally happens for you, don't go bragging to the boys, don't tell anyone, don't share it with people because people will talk about it. And I'm like, now as an adult, I'm like, that is so fucking weird. What a weird thing to spend time on that. Like, why?
Would the natural instinct be to brag about it? Like to the boys, like, hey fellas,
that's what's happening.
Just happened.
When I was in the 6th grade,
that's what I do now.
When I was in the 6th grade, they broke us up between boys and the girls. The girls went to see something about their first period. The boys watched a safety thing on fireworks. So when we were all back, I'm not even making this up. We were all back together. We're all going into the girls like, that was so gross, wasn't it? And they're just like, their fucking eyes were like pies, right? They're like, what do you mean gross? It's disgusting. We saw a kid get his hand blown off. We saw a kid get his hand blown off.
Fuck, it's gore.
It was wild. But no, I don't think anyone, even to this day, is comfortable.
No,
you know,
no one's comfortable about it. I remember lying about losing my virginity all throughout high school. On the books, according to my high school, I lost my virginity in the 5th grade. I was already like, yep, I had so many babies. I don't know how this works. You know what I mean? My baby's older than me. I don't know what's going on. And that's how I was. I remember this is what I remember about sex ed. They used to play this stupid game, right? Where everyone had an envelope, and inside the envelope there'd be like a different STD, all right? And then they'd pass it around the class, and then you're opening it up, and you don't know that there's STDs in the envelope. They're just giving you an envelope. And then you open it up, and then you have to read what it is. And you're like, some people in this class now have STDs. Some don't. Everyone wore a condom, and some of you didn't. What do you have, right? And
I have chlamydia.
Yeah, that's what it would be. I would always get AIDS until I'm so scared of AIDS. I'm scared of my mail. I'm scared of everything. So that's all I remember about sex ed. I don't, and we did it with women and men, boys and girls. It was fun.
Well, I still think the ability for, I mean, just think of how many times a family has sat around together and watched simulated murder and everybody's cool, but any kind of simulated sex and it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. That's
and
bizarre.
yet you can watch Rambo with your children and grandmother, but God forbid 2 people are laying together in a bed and you're like, I'm going to turn this off.
Yeah.
Inappropriate.
This is terrible.
And parents don't feel the need to explain violence the way they explain
Never did.
sex,
Yeah,
where
that's right.
like something sexual is on TV, or like a parent goes over, turns it off, like what you just saw is an adult thing. But yeah, like you see someone gutted and like their insides spill out. And meanwhile, the kid's just sitting there like, is this what adults do?
Yeah.
Is this real?
Well, they had it coming.
Yeah. Should there be like a violence talk? Like people, like parents sit their kids down like, listen, sometimes when a man hates another man, he just punches him in the face.
Yeah, or cut his hat off. He'll be wearing a hockey mask. And some kind of assault of some kind. No, we leave children with those movies.
Right, exactly. Sometimes when you slit the throat,
Yeah.
blood comes out with each pulse. So that's what you're seeing there.
Well, if you even think of some of our greatest directors, has Scorsese ever shot a sex scene? I can't think of one. Tarantino, I can't think of one.
Casino, wasn't Pesci banging.
The blowjob scene where he takes her head in the car, pushes it down. Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's Scorsese at his best. You can hear a woman choking on Joe Pesci's. We imagine an enormous penis. But I mean, they do not, very few of our, some of our best directors would ever shoot a sex scene.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. With Tarantino, you have implied oral. He says he's going to go down on her and then he goes south. But I don't think there's...
Where was that from?
In Pulp Fiction, she asks for oral pleasure, specifically.
French girl, I forgot that. Yeah.
Jackie,
by the way, they're my least favorite part of that whole movie.
That is my most favorite part of that movie. I love...
Really? But the mongoloid...
Forever. Where did he pick up this French broad anyway in L.A.?
A big stack of blueberry pancakes. And for dessert, a slice of blueberry pie. To go with the pancakes, of course.
I'm always like, Bush, why are you putting up with this shit? And she left the fucking watch behind.
If I said I took it, then I took it. I don't know if I took it.
So annoying.
I seriously could watch a whole movie with Butch and her. I love those two. I loved it.
A lot of people don't even give Bruce Willis credit for being in that movie. You know what I mean? They'll never say that's a Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah, and he's excellent.
He's a big part of that movie. Yeah.
And you know what I love about it? For some reason, and you'll see it in some movies, it comes out, but his kind of Philly talk kind of comes out in that character every once.
His South Jersey.
Exactly.
Every so often you hear it slip.
He's like, come on, baby, come on.
Yeah, we want to go back to Memphis because he's working. They're trying to go to Knoxville or some shitty place.
Hon, I don't speak Bora Bora, okay?
Mike Brown's in studio. Mike's web series, Can't Stop, Won't Stop, is available now at can'tstopshow.com. New episodes coming this year. And Mike's performing at the Wonderful World of Boning, sex ed with a sense of humor, tomorrow night at Union Hall in Brooklyn. On Twitter, it's at @YoMikeBrown.
Chris, you got everything down today, man.
Thank you.
On top of
you seriously.
Yeah.
It's really, really great stuff.
Just trying to plug.
Nick in Cleveland. Nick, go ahead.
Hey, guys, there is a scene in Jackie Brown where De Niro's giving the old how do you do to Holly Hunter.
First of all, it isn't Holly Hunter.
It's not Holly Hunter.
But second of all, do you remember that he cuts away and then writes 1.5 minutes later? The guy comes so fast. That was great. But I'll tell you, that fucking movie, I stayed mad at Sam Jackson for 3 years over that movie for shooting the kid in Fridays in the fucking trunk of the car. It was the meanest scene I've ever seen in my life. It was the cruelest scene I've ever watched. And I literally held it against Sam Jackson.
You're like, he must be a terrible person in real life.
It took me a while just to be like, okay. But he was awful in that movie, man.
Yeah.
He's horrible. And then Strawberry, number 23, starts playing. It's fucked up.
That's fucking such an amazing scene, right? Because it's like the sound gets lower as they drive around.
Yeah, and then you just see it like, oh no, he's just driving around. He's fooling him. This is terrible. No, don't do it.
But it's a great soundtrack too. In that.
Yeah,
that's real smart.
Yeah, that is great.
I had the opposite reaction with Sam Jackson.
Really? You love him in that?
I was like, oh, he's a badass. That's how I felt.
He is a badass, but to be that mean to his own crew, when he was going to kill Jackie when he was sitting in the dark, I thought he was as scary as fucking Jaws in that movie. I thought he was like the shark in Jaws. He didn't care about anything. He didn't even care when his little surfer girl got killed.
Oh, he I thought they had something together. They're running guns, they're having a good time.
She was the only one that could give him any shit. Then he had that country girl that he would keep. He was fucking terrible. His crazy hair, it looked like a skull head in that movie.
When did you come around to Sam Jackson?
Oh, well, first of all, I loved him from Spike early on.
Okay.
When he said, I smoked a TV set. I don't remember which one was, but he had stole his mom's TV and then said he had smoked it. I was like, this motherfucker is great. And I always loved him all the way through, but he was so cruel in Jackie Brown that it probably took me like 3 years. And then I couldn't get into him as with the lightsaber and all that shit.
Mace Windu?
That bummed me out. It bummed me out to see him do that.
It's like they're daring us to stop watching some of his movies. They just throw him in everything. It's like, come on, Sam. I can't believe you with this lightsaber, Sam. Come on, man. Come on.
Joe, Trucker Joe, what's up? Turn your radio, fix your radio. We got to get somebody screening that because that sounds fucking terrible. Hey, Dave, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Scorsese in The Wolf of Wall Street. DiCaprio's blowing coke off a hooker's ass.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a lot of dude bro sex in that, not real sex. Almost like clownish laugh at this sex.
Yeah.
Never intimacy.
No, never what would actually happen. The guy's got a candle up his ass while he's screaming mommy or whatever. By the way, do you think this is the year that they're finally going to give that kid the best actor?
I think it's going. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I think it's time.
I haven't seen it either. But he's had a good enough career that they owe him.
Yeah, they owe him big time. He's had a great career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say it's Eddie Redmayne, the kid who's in that trans. He plays a trans person. And it's a period piece.
Yeah, but he just won last year.
I know.
Yeah.
But
They're not going to do it again.
They're not going to do it again.
I think they'll give it to him again.
No, they
give us all the best actors.
Okay. Eddie Redmayne for
yeah, we got you.
His personal campaign.
The Danish Girl. Fassbender for Steve Jobs. DiCaprio the Revenant. Matt Damon the Martian. And Cranston for Trumbo.
Okay.
Matt Damon, the Martian. The Martian known as Matt Damon.
They got to give it to Leo this year.
Yeah, it's got to be a runaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be so happy for him.
Yeah. I think that he should have won for when he was a little kid and he did that movie with De Niro. That was one of the
This
best.
Boy's Life. Or,
yeah.
Yeah.
De Niro was still at his peak, and that little kid was going toe to toe with one of our greatest actors.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. You're right, and it's such a good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but yeah, he's fantastic in it.
He has to win. It's like when 12 Years a Slave won. It's kind of like you're gonna give them the award, right? Like you're just looking at it like you know what you have to do. That's how I feel about Leo winning, and everyone's kind of like in agreement. Like you're gonna give it to him this year, right?
Yeah.
Like he has to get it. I heard he was good.
Yeah, particularly if they give it. Well, Vito has seen it, right?
Seen it, and I believe he loves it.
Vito, you're talking a lot about it, right?
I loved that movie. That whole movie, I was on the edge of my seat, just excited. He killed it in it.
I don't like to watch a movie that makes me feel cold. I don't like a movie 2.5 hours of trying to get around in the snow. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, oh, I'm kind of chilly too.
Yeah, but it's nice if you if you have a bunch of blankets.
Yeah.
I want a movie with people relaxing for 2 hours. I want a Powerball to be won.
I don't mind if people are sweating. I always like, it's funny now, if someone sets a movie in Florida or New Orleans, they act like those people don't have air conditioner. Yeah. You know, everyone's down there. It's hot, isn't it?
Dirty wife beaters. Just like fanning.
Pouring ice water down their shirt.
It's really the opposite in the South. Those people live in AC, and up here you have people who don't have.
Yeah, you have people who don't have AC.
Yeah.
Because they're going like, for what, 6 weeks?
Yeah.
I'm going to pay that money for 6 weeks.
But then it's 100 degrees during that time.
I have a ceiling fan. It's great. It'll take care of everything. Circulates the air.
Put the box fan in the window. That's
there would
perfect.
always be a thing that when we'd have a heat wave, a bunch of old people in Chicago would die. Because they had painted their windows shut or whatever. And it's just their house turned into an oven. And then, you know, I would be watching that. I'd be living in Florida. And I'd be like, why don't they get a fucking AC up there? You know, why aren't they taking care of themselves?
How hard is that?
Seems easy enough.
Yeah.
Mike,
give me the. All right, do your plug, but then give us the.
Okay.
I'm going to pick everything. I like when you're doing the plug, though.
Yeah. Mike's performing at the Wonderful World of Boning. Sex Ed with a Sense of Humor show. That's tomorrow night, Union Hall in Brooklyn. On Twitter, it's at Yo Mike Brown. And go to Can't Stop Show to see his web series, Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Best Picture,
let's go Best Actress.
Best Actress is Kate Blanchett for Carol.
She's always good, but she's won before, right?
Yeah, she's won. I think she's won twice before. Brie Larson, Room.
I heard she's going to win because everybody feels like she never got out of that room. It's really hard.
Whatever.
This is for your troubles in the room.
Keep your head up, champ.
Jennifer Lawrence for Joy.
And she's won also.
She's beloved, this little girl.
She's a darling. She's
25 and can do no wrong.
Yeah.
No wrong.
Charlotte Rampling for 45 years.
She's been great forever.
And Saoirse Ronan for Brooklyn.
We're watching Brooklyn tonight.
I haven't seen it yet. Love the writer. You know what? Immediately after saying it, text us to let us know what you think of it.
Yes.
Because I want to go, but I don't want to be at a bad movie ever.
Yeah.
Being in a bad movie is the same as being in boiling water. To me.
Isn't that the worst feeling is going to the movie, sitting down, you're all ready, and you're 5 minutes in, and you're like, I've made a huge mistake. This is terrible. How long is this movie?
Did you guys see Creed, by the way?
Yeah.
I did, yes.
How did you guys feel like on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, Gail saw it in Philly.
So
opening weekend.
Crazy.
I saw it. Yes, I saw it opening weekend in Philly. So I feel like maybe I am a little influenced with like the excitement level in that room.
Okay.
So I might be difficult, but I had a great time watching it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now Vito's the same way, except for he was not in Philly.
Where?
I saw it twice. Both times I was just as excited. I'll see it again. The Revenant might have been, like, in my opinion, the best movie, but Creed was my favorite movie of the year.
All right. No, Mike Brown, what about you?
I saw it opening weekend in Harlem, Magic Johnson Theater.
Okay.
Kids were quiet during the movie. That never happens. We only yelled during the fight scenes. I mean, it was a mixed audience. Racism is over. I think it should be acknowledged with something. Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to get the temperature of who's seen this movie.
Well, see, I remember the first Rocky. Now, this is the 7th time he's played that. If they give him an award now,
he's nominated.
For the 7th
he's
time
nominated.
That he's done that. Not only when they showed the nomination, the room exploded.
They love him.
They went crazy like, he should get something.
He's nominated in a weak field, too. Like, it's not a lot of competition there for him.
All right, give us who else he's going to. I didn't even think about this.
All right, supporting actor. All right, Sylvester Stallone for Creed. Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies.
You saw it. You didn't.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna
put an etch through the computer. Just scratch the computer.
Mark Ruffalo for Spotlight.
Mark Ruffalo.
I like him.
Everyone likes him, but he's a TV actor, really, in movies. He's, you know what I mean? Like, he's a nice, pleasant man.
I like Ruffalo, but I didn't. Did he win something before?
No,
I don't think he's ever won.
He should have been nominated for that Magic movie he was in.
He won some kind of gene pool for being attractive because his acting. You know what I mean? You got to be attractive to be able to pull that off.
Tom Hardy for The Revenant.
Everyone loves the Tom Hardy. You saw it. Did you like his part, Vito?
My only issue with Tom Hardy in that movie is that every single thing his character says is just like written to be evil. Like he doesn't say anything other than evil lines, and he's no Stallone.
Okay. He loves Stallone.
I thought he was the good guy in the movie.
Look, big Italian guys love Stallone.
Yeah, he's no Stallone.
Yeah, he watches that and feels there's some hope for him.
Yeah.
There isn't. Stallone was the last Italian guy. He was the last dopey Italian guy to make it through. John Travolta was right before him, then Stallone, and that ended it.
And finally, Christian Bale for The Big Short.
Oh, enough with that guy.
I mean, I think Stallone might get it. Stallone might get it.
I think that's when you look at that lineup.
That's more of like who's your favorite actor who wasn't the main actor award.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think he'd won that because everyone likes Creed. Everyone had fun with it.
Yeah.
And people love Stallone.
But they didn't nominate the director. They didn't nominate the star.
No.
Everything goes to Stallone.
I mean, it's a first step. It's a first step. So, it's messed up, but it's the first.
Creed should have probably got away from slavers in the opening scene. People would be like, "This is amazing.
This is it.
This is amazing."
Perfect.
All right, we gotta go. Mike Brown, thank you so much, my friend. It was great having you in.
Thank you.
We've watched some of your stuff, and that happens. That's you're keeping that going.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we're gonna keep it going.
Fantastic.
Mike Brown's web series, Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Available to watch now at can'tstopshow.com. New episodes are coming. And Mike's performing at the wonderful world of boning. Sex ed with a sense of humor. Tomorrow night at Union Hall in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. On Twitter, it's at @YoMikeBrown.
All right, that's it. We'll be right back. Bennington Show. Yeah, she can spit in the eyes of fools. It is Bowie. That one got to you, Gail.
Yeah, it got to me.
Chris started to bring up the American version of Life on Mars.
Yeah,
why? They played. You know what? That's a very good point, though. Because I told you years ago that song was never a hit. It was like an underrated thing, and maybe it was the two TV shows. They kind of made it more famous again, and then movies started to pick it up. But I always thought that was one of those brilliant pre-Ziggy Stardust songs that didn't get radio play.
Yeah, and then also the Life Aquatic soundtrack.
Yeah.
It was heavily featured. I mean, of course, the covers of his songs were the whole soundtrack. But was that one that they actually had the original recording, or no? That was one of the cover one. Because I think that there was one Bowie song that wasn't a cover that played just as Bowie, but I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, those covers were so.
Yeah,
great.
I think that was Life on Mars when they were up on the thing when he went to smoke the joint, and he was wondering whether that was his dad and son.
And it was like kind of a slow motion moment when he exhales the smoke.
A lot of people that's their least favorite Wes Anderson. I always love
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Crazy to say that.
Yeah,
you can't. You know what, Chris? That's opinion.
I labeled him crazy.
You can't. This is why I don't let you run a mental institution, because you put a lot of people.
And we know you want
just give me a chance to just put me in charge of one.
But the problem is, every time you disagree on art with somebody, you can't have them put away.
I want my own private police force to drag people away into my goddamn institution.
You're fucking crazy, and you're gonna look at a fucking 5-year fucking stay now.
Get him.
Get in here. Give them some fucking Thorazine and chill them the fuck out until they know what they're talking about. Because I run this fucking place. It started as Army Man, but then it got weird.
Then it just got to be Chris.
You know what? I don't
Scary
trust
Chris.
you and that Green Bay Packer hat.
This Green Bay Packer hat's fucking going with me to Lockdown. Lockton.
You've taken football and you've made it angry, but that's why I look forward to after the show. What's that all about?
Oh my God.
It's going to be running where people can be happier. Joey, did you bring your boots today?
I'm wearing my boots.
I can't say it, just say your ankle.
Oh, there we go.
Wow, you really get it up there.
By the way, Chris is wearing his boots, and I don't think he should be on the show.
Come on, please. I'm wearing my boots.
You're going to be mildly featured.
Oh.
You already sat down on the boot couch. I don't have a good name for that yet, but
boot couch is fine. And do you have your partner today? Do you have Kashmir?
I do have my co-host of What's That a Boot, Kashmir.
First of all, he should be doing a sweater show.
I know.
Because that sweater's amazing.
Sweater weather. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I can't wait till we do a sweater show.
It's going to take off.
I'm looking forward to scarfing it down, where people will be showing off their scarves as one person scarfs their lunch.
I'm looking
That could be a place for you, Chris.
I love scarfing lunch.
This is perfect.
You scarf every meal.
Yeah,
you're
dinner.
a fast eater.
And you're kind of like the hype man in a way. Like, you're not part of the band, but
there was
the scarfing is part of it.
Just skanking around.
A bit close to Chad. Just the one dude.
By the way, I think that guy was needed in that band, too.
Yeah. It got us going. We were like,
All right.
oh, that's how you dance to this.
Let's look at
A skank.
the grown man putting his ass on the baby, which is, I guess, blown up the internet.
Yeah. It's internationally shared.
By the way,
causing
why
a lot of
is Sam
concern.
in here 7 hours before his show?
I don't know. Something's
It's
going
so
on.
stupid for him. All right. Dear God, what is he doing to that baby? All right, let me take a look at this. This is a grown man who is who's taken his deformed, ugly ass and is lowering it onto a baby.
A helpless infant.
It's up on the iBang, and as he leans over, and his deformed asshole is just shown
gaping.
to the world. Yeah, his deformed, gaping asshole. And look at the. Now, it's bad enough that the little baby's taking it, but look at the mom as a hype man to this event.
I know. She's holding the child down.
So it can't crawl away.
I didn't even see the mother's head until you pointed it out because I'm all focused on that weird asshole.
You always are.
You always are focused on that weird asshole.
It's me, Chris Stanley. Ass to ass.
Ass to baby.
By the way, I saw a tweet out about Stanley. They were trying to get him in one of these roast battles, and they called him Pepper Stanley. I mean, you have too many names, dude.
It's very confusing.
It's really weird.
Now, what do they want? Who do they want you to battle?
They want me to roast battle Eastside Dave.
You're not a roastman. That's not something you're capable of doing.
I don't know where this idea came
All right, I'm
from.
going to help you write some jokes.
Okay, I don't know if there's enough stuff out there about him for me to draw from.
All right, where's he from? Jersey?
Yeah, Jersey.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
New Jersey.
All right, I got one for you for like your opening line.
Okay.
Well, you've heard of New Jersey's famous saltwater taffy. Well, this Eastside Dave is a saltwater turkey.
You fucking got him! Roast it! Do it! Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm goddamn watching this weird asshole.
It's weird asshole.
It's really, I fucking feel, like, and even the ass hair placement's all over the place in this
Oh,
thing.
God.
What's this guy doing to his ass? Is he fucking shaving one end? Is he a burn victim? Doesn't even looks like his asshole's paved over. Is that a colostomy bag? Hey, there's a baby in the picture. Jesus Christ.
What's he hope to get out of it?
I don't know. Humiliation,
I put my ass
I
right
think.
up next to the baby.
I think he wants to use this against the child years from now.
This is ped scat is what this is.
Ugh. Ped scat.
I'm sickened.
Well, sickened or loving it?
No,
because every time we try to change the fucking direction of it,
you go
you're
back.
back to it. It's up on the Interrobang today. Also, there's a weird English thing of guys that catch another guy jerking off while he's driving through the English countryside.
Yeah. I found this fucking gem.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
I think Gail will get a kick out of it because she likes when people overreact to small things.
I do. It's one of my few joys in life.
It's sad that you don't have many joys.
Not many.
You seem
no.
like a happy person.
Bastard. Just keep up with him. Put your foot down. It's coming.
It's just two dudes driving down there. Excited because
Here he is, look. Right, listen. Everyone, this video, we've caught a guy wanking, watching porn at the wheel. Look, he's wanking, watching porn at the wheel. Foreigner. Right, watch this. I'm going to get around him. Right, watch this. This guy is a dirty bastard. Keep it on film, Mike. Let's catch this cunt and expose him. Wanker at the wheel. I cannot believe my eyes. I'll try and keep beside him so you can film him. He's got his tom-tom on, so there's no reason for him to have another screen on. Look. He's got his old boy out.
Oh my
He's got his old boy out.
We're going to expose this cunt.
Let's show this dirty boy to the world. Let him know what a dirty little lad he is.
Yeah, dirty bastard, aren't you? Everyone wants his bed.
Where's his fruit bag? Down at the bottom of it.
He's watching porn while driving. Crikey.
He's having quite the wank today, aren't you, governor? Stroking it till you puke your own jizz, are you?
A little bit of the jerky.
He's doing the jerkiness, aren't you? Having a jack dance over there, are you, Gov?
Is that right, Pops? Is that right?
Stroking the old north now, are we? On your way to Kensington. I actually think I'd have been a more comfortable Englishman than I am American.
You are an Anglophile.
Hey! I thought that guy was 18.
It's true, though. You are.
An Anglophile meaning liking English things.
You like all things English.
I don't think I do.
Which things don't you like?
Well, I
food?
don't like any. Yeah, any of their
sausage?
food.
Why? It's delicious.
Ugh.
congealed blood in the casing. It's fucked up.
It's a bad rap, though. I mean, there's a lot of pies.
I
Meat
also
pies are
don't, I
great.
don't think I could see myself chasing people as they jacked. I definitely couldn't see me like Stanley putting my ass up on a baby.
Yeah.
A lot of people have written in and think that happened to Stanley as a child.
Oh,
a
that
man
makes a lot of
lowering
sense.
his hairy ass on a defenseless, beautiful child.
Yes. Spreading open the butt cheeks
And that no good mother just facilitating it.
and exposing a gaping a-hole.
This seems some sort of weird ring of asses and babies. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Some sort of ass ring?
It's an ass ring. And look, there's the ass ring also there.
You just made the ass
ring. Do you see this baby and a goddamn asshole next to its face?
People are writing to us. Well, let me just go to the call here. We'll be able to deal with it. Rich, New York.
Yeah, another member of the Deadpool, unfortunately. Dan Haggerty, who played Grizzly Adams.
I can't go on like this.
What?
I mean, it's
well, he
been a
wasn't
bad
69, though.
enough week.
He wasn't 69, he was 74, so I guess we blow that theory.
Well, he never should have been on TV
The
either.
theory's still alive. He's just not part of it. That's all.
What's this?
The 69 theory. You have to die when you're 69. No, he's 74.
Confused. Kyle, what's up?
Hey guys, that was hilarious. The whole British thing you're just doing.
Thanks.
Really quick, Chris Stanley. It's not an asshole. That's like a bald dude bent over kissing his baby. Look at it closely.
I have been looking at it closely. That's a butt, buddy.
No, it's not. Hey,
that butt buddy is what you call your friend who bends over like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Believe me, he's looking at it close. A little too close.
Yeah, that was his nickname in high school, was Butt Buddy.
He never met in high school.
I don't want to take away from the funny or whatever, but I wanted to compliment you guys on doing an absolutely wonderful job this week with Bowie. It's kind of a somber week, and you guys did it every day, turning into you guys just made the week better. I want to thank you so
First of all,
much for
we
that.
won't ever get close enough to playing our favorite Bowie songs.
I know, that's how I felt all week listening to Bowie.
I just feel like there's about another 50 that I'm dying to play. I don't know why we weren't asked to be part of the Bowie tribute channel.
I couldn't, when I first heard the news, I couldn't think of what song I wanted to listen to first. It took me 20 minutes of just surfing through his music before I could decide which one I wanted to be the first one that I listened to with him not here anymore, you know?
Noel Felding was in this week, and his favorite
And it was
song.
great. That interview was fantastic.
Yeah, it's up on the iBank, and people can listen to it. Do us a favor and send it to your friends. And it's really such he's just amazing in it. But he had been asked to pick his favorite Bowie song, and it was Moon Age Daydream. And it reminded me of when I was a kid and I went to see Bowie, and he was doing that song. And when he gets the one song where he goes, "Don't fake it, babe," right? But he did it real fast. He did it like, "Don't fake it, baby." And the fucking scream that let loose in that room was unbelievable. And I just went, wow. Hard to remember that you're straight in a room like this. You know what I mean? I see men just screaming. And they were not all gay men. There was, the gay audience maybe was always part of it, but it never was the majority audience. Yeah. But I will say this. They always got the best fucking seats. No one was doing that VIP ring like fucking those Bowie shows. The front row, everybody, the first three rows, everyone always looked like Bowie. It always annoyed me. I'm like, what do these guys travel with him? Yeah, that's what they do. So we won't get to all of them this week. But I would love to have just done huge stories of Bowie in Philadelphia. And we were talking earlier this week about how loved he was. A lot of it came back to this one DJ. His name was Ed Shockey. And Ed Shockey was one of these guys in that short period of time where they let people play the music that they wanted to play. He would not only play the music, but he would invite people in from around the country or from England, and sometimes they would crash at his house. So like Billy Joel didn't have a hit anywhere, but would come down, sleep at Ed Shockey's. It's Bruce Springsteen, Bowie, the band Yes, all these, different kind of things because they just appealed to him. But I remember when Bowie was doing recorded in Philly at Sigma Sound, he had him record a couple Springsteen songs. To me, it never worked. You know what I mean? Right. But just to think that a DJ, an FM DJ would be able to say, dude, you ought to record these songs. He's an upcoming songwriter. You're still looking for that American thing. Just the fact that kind of shit could happen was amazing to me.
I still feel like it's so raw for me. It's hard to imagine that I'm gonna come to the place where, because there are still people in my life who passed away, people who were culturally important that I don't think you ever really quite figure out how to put them in that category. Like when Robin Williams passed away, even now when I think about it, it still doesn't make sense to me that Robin Williams isn't here and that he's not going to continue to, give, and have his career go on. But this one really, really shook me in a way that I can't really imagine going to a place in my mind where I think that he's not around. It's bizarre.
The album not only has gone number one this week, but you can't find any physical copies of the album of all.
Yeah. Amazon sold out of Black Star and CD and vinyl and every other David Bowie album, all 25 of them or whatever. They don't, Amazon doesn't have any in stock, anything physical.
That's crazy. Yeah, it just shot to number one. And of course also with streaming, it's number one and with sales, it's number one right now. Pretty tremendous when you think about it.
Well, in England right now, let's see, this just got sent to me by Sheradoc. 19 Bowie albums and 13 singles are in the UK top 100.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's insane.
And then just the line, I never thought I'd need so many people from 5 years. It is hard to believe. It's really hard to believe that this guy was never, we were talking about big movie stars. I think we were doing it after the show, that you have movie stars and actors.
Yeah.
I always would have said that Bowie, even though he flirted with being a rock star, was always more of an artist. I don't think he ever really worked the charts and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's why it's also surprising to see this kind of outpouring.
And I think part of the reason for that is that he stayed evolving as an artist, and he seemed like as soon as somebody tried to kind of pin him down or define him in any sort of way, he was already moved on to the next thing. He was very interested in, I think, just uncharted territory.
But that's the worst thing you can do in branding.
Yeah.
The worst possible thing that you could do is bring the audience something that they're unfamiliar with. One of the people who had been at one of our program directors, he came to me and he's like, dude, your show is so good, but you have to remember a show is really the same as like a soda machine. When people hit Coke, they want to get Coke every time. When they go to McDonald's, they want a burger and fries and a Coke, and they want it to taste the same. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he would be like, you're great, and you're so funny. Why do you spend any time not being funny, talking about other things? I'm like, because that's what I'm doing right then. You know what I mean? You can't just be, well, you can. Most people are. I know when I got offered to do a sports show, I'm like, every day? You know what I mean? Like, I like talking about sports every day, but only sports?
Yeah.
I'm starting to go nuts.
And the feeling that if something else was on your mind, that you would have these shackles that you could not.
You can't do it.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, don't you think that it allows you to be funnier because you're able to move in and out of conversation that way. I don't know.
I don't know. I know people from, the suit type would rather that you just did one thing. And I'm thinking like, hey, you're on a comedy station. Why are you playing so many Bowie songs this week? I don't know.
Because it's you. Because
comedy, I guess. Because the comedy
funny
of it all.
when you think of it.
Yeah, I saw Joe laughing.
I found it funny.
I want to play a song that I remember hearing when I was a kid and not figuring out whether it was him talking to some girl's boyfriend saying calm down we're just dancing, or him talking to his gay lover saying calm down we're just dancing. But it's John, I'm Only Dancing, the name of this should have been to me one of the biggest hits of all time, but just from a clever point of view to do a fucking a pop song that is so smart. This will be it for us and Bowie. We're probably not going to play any more Bowie until Monday. But he truly has been one of the greatest rock and roll stars of all time. Certainly one of my life. David Bowie.
It's such an incredible song.
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
It's so good. He's phenomenal.
Was.
Is and never shall be.
I don't believe in that. I think that's it. It's finite now. Monday, I take the blanket back off the mirror, including the shaving mirror, and start anew. And I'll never listen to Bowie again.
No, that's not how that should work.
I think it does work that way.
Please don't.
Oh, someone thinks that I really care about not being invited on the Bowie channel. They just don't know what they're doing here or how to go to it. That they just clip songs together. It's not personal. I would have been on there telling stories all week, and I was able to do it on this show.
Yeah, our show.
Care. Yeah, our show.
Bennington.
Yeah, that's it. Bennington. Joey, where'd your big Bowie thing come from? Up there in Minnesota, knowing that Prince had a dad and mom, and it was Bowie?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
Seriously. Don't always try to be agreeable. Well, what's your favorite Bowie era?
Ziggy Stardust. Yeah. I mean, those are Hunky Dory and Ziggy Stardust are the two albums I'm most familiar with, and what I spent my youth and high school listening to.
I've seen you more of a pinups, all the cover songs.
Let him sing.
Hey, I'm not opposed to that either.
Chris Stanley is my only fucking diamond dog out of all you guys from that era.
Halloween Jack.
Yeah,
Love that
that's
fucking
you.
guy.
But 1984 was such a great thing.
Yeah, and just the whole how it begins.
And then Sweet Thing.
Yeah.
It's safe in the city to love in the doorway. That always reminded me of New York City. It always still amazes me in New York City that you can just see older people making out. Are they not that horny other places, or do we not just see them? But sometimes I'll just see a guy that I'm like, that's a really old dude making out with his chick. And I know they're cheating, you know what I mean? Like, I know there's some wild story.
Oh, God, yeah.
I saw that in Rome, and I was like, I feel like New York and Rome are the only places I've ever been where I've saw really romantic, sexualized older people who, I don't know, are lusty. Still very lusty.
Yeah, very, very lusty. Ooh. Some people trying to write this poetic thing. Like I wrote the great thing for Chris today.
Yeah.
Not salt water taffy, salt water turkey. We'll be able to win
the
with
poetry of that too.
I don't know whether to open or close with it.
Just say, East Side Dave, I listened to a show. It's more like an East Side grave.
Got him.
Yeah! Here in the fucking ground now!
You have his number.
By the way, Bowie was immediately cremated and left plans for no public or personal funeral. Just gone. I like that angle.
Yeah. But then, also knowing the everyone's going to celebrate in their own way then. You know, everyone's going to...
What, go down to his house with fucking flowers and candles?
Yeah.
Stop it. Leave his family alone.
Leave some albums out there for him. It's crazy.
I feel like going down and getting all that vinyl for myself.
Just scooping it up. This is great.
I'll leave an iPad with a candle on it on there.
That's how I get music now. Founder style.
Thank you, Steve Jobs. You're with David Bowie now.
Check the filtered excellence. Earl did his filtered excellence. Let's see if we care. Let's go yes or no. We'll do what Earl says.
Black Earl says, watch this, the new Showtime show, Billions.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen it either, but I'm interested to see it.
Yeah, me too. So I'll give that a thumbs up. I'll try. His filtered excellence up on the Interbank today. What's next?
A Band of Robbers, an adult makeover of Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn. It's a film.
No. Why is that? What's funny about that? Just disagreeing doesn't mean that he's an idiot. But he had an opinion, and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to.
Angie Tribeca.
I just saw her walk by. The beautiful Rashida Jones.
Nice.
I gave her a wave, but she just stared. Wait, I'm going to write that down as my new song.
Good.
She was in with us before.
She was, yeah.
But we didn't take her this time. Her dad, Quincy Jones. Her mom, the unbelievable Peggy Lipton.
Yeah, beautiful.
California itself.
Peggy Lipton.
Earl says, listen to this, Black Star by David Bowie.
Way to be on the cutting edge, Earl.
Cool guy.
And then do this.
Thumbs up.
Charlotte Rampling.
Wait, somebody just said Dan Soder's in Billions.
He has a role in Billions, yeah.
What is he, a billionaire?
I don't believe he's a billionaire. I believe he's like a...
Trillionaire?
What?
No, much less than that. I'm thinking 100,000-aire.
All right, let me just play a
Still pretty
clip.
good.
This is Dan Soder in the TV show Billions. Oh, yeah. Never knew him then.
He's good in that.
Think it. Soder.
He's made another billion.
Well, that's great for him. Now I'm definitely going to watch it. That changes everything.
It was a yes before, but now it's definite.
Now it's an extra yes.
Yes. Of course.
And the Charlotte Rampling retrospective at the IFC Center.
I might want to go see that.
It runs through March 8th.
It runs through. What films are playing?
The Verdict?
I don't even remember her being in The Verdict. That's how fucking drunk I am.
You're so drunk, to be fair, though.
I really do feel like drinking today.
Can't.
The Night Porter?
Oh, you guys do.
Mm-mm.
No.
We don't.
The Night Porter, Georgie Girl, Stardust Memories, Under the Sand.
Crazy in that, man. I'd love to see Stardust Memories on the big screen. I only think I have. Call them, let them know the good news.
Okay.
Come down and see him.
Ron's coming.
Get him a nice seat.
Yeah.
Perfect
seat.
I'll see.
Fresh popcorn.
Yeah.
Chris was telling me that he can't eat movie popcorn anymore.
Does it give you heartburn?
I don't know what it does. It gives me heartburn and my stomach. It's just
solid in your stomach.
It's not good.
You can't digest it. After a certain point of popcorn, man can't digest it anymore. Chris is hitting it now.
But it's weird because it was only in the last year that now when I eat popcorn, I get like heartburn. It's like a burning in my chest.
Chris calls it poop corn.
Yeah.
Ew.
I'm like, no thanks to the poop corn or the poop juice you put on it.
Yeah, you used to just sit around and eat the buttered stuff.
Oh, yeah, the
You're
butter
all
is...
about that juice,
butter.
if
I'm
I
all
recall.
about that poop juice.
Hey, Eric, in Kentucky.
You know, I listened to a little Bowie when I was growing up, you know, what would come on the radio. I literally still remember exactly where I was in the car with my mom the first time I heard Changes. For some reason, that one hit me. But I listened to all kinds of crazy, diverse stuff from all over the map, music-wise, when I was a kid. Never really dove into Bowie that much. But about 5 or 6 years ago, started listening to you guys and started, you know, with albums, going through them and trying to get as much of the catalog as I could. And, you know, I love it. He's really going to be missed, but I got you guys on Ron and Fez and Bennington to thank for me really digging in.
That was really nice of you to say. Well, Fez was always very deep into it, came up with a lot of great songs. So give him all the credit in the world. I haven't talked to him in a couple of days. Have you heard from him?
I did, actually. He actually reached out to me on Monday when the news had broke about Bowie, and he sent over his condolences and said some sweet things to me. It was very sweet.
I haven't talked to him since Bowie died.
Really?
Yeah. Unpleasantness, I guess. Unpleasant. But I'm sure I'll talk to him football over the weekend. He'll be happy that greasy fucking Green Bay hat. Well, the hat just fries your hair.
Yeah, it's bad. And it's like this hat isn't big enough to fit my head, so it's kind of giving me a headache.
Why are you leaving it on?
Because I got to rep the pack. Go Pack Go. That's what I always say.
Go Pack Joe is more like it.
Go Pack Joe.
That's you.
Fill your heart with love today.
Pack +7, lockdown.
I don't know, man.
It feels too good to me.
All right, I don't know how to cancel somebody, but cancel BB. Blocked for life.
That person's in Blocktown as opposed to Lockdown.
Is there such a thing that you can do to block?
Yeah, of course.
Because I never go on the internet. This person looks like they just actually made something with their 3 followers. They just said, enough with the Bowie, you're a comedy show. Enough.
Bye, BB.
Put him in he's dead. Put him in the ground already.
Bye, girl. Sorry.
He's so edgy.
He's an edgelord.
It's so edgy, mate.
Having a want there, Bowie.
Billy, more like Philly, you know?
Got him.
You can't block because you don't log in. You're just using a search. I need somebody to... You know what? Send Vito in here.
Vito, come in to this room.
Boy, Vito's... Chris, what do you want to play by Bowie right now?
I want to listen to TVC 15.
Do it.
Oh, fuck yes.
And when that happens, after that happens, I'm going to have a discussion with Vito about his life, his future, his loves, his love. Hey, Boris, you're on the Bennington Show.
Hi, Ron. Thank you very much for taking my call.
That's my job, Boris.
Excellent. Well, I hope I sound okay. I'm standing in 3 feet of snow, and I seem to be losing your signal here, but hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you perfectly.
Excellent. Well, the one thing that got overlooked this week, by the way, I've been tweeting you every day and listening to the show, of course, as always, and so I don't want to repeat what everybody else says, but thank you very much for your respectful treatment of Mr. Bowie. It's been touching, and you've had me crying a few times. Nobody mentioned The Hunger. I mean, that was a spectacular movie, long before Interview with a Vampire and Bram Stoker's Dracula and this whole Twilight shit trend started.
Yeah.
I mean, Bowie...
Well, we never really got into his acting at all.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, which is kind of a forgotten one. The Man Who Fell to Earth is one of the most bizarre 70s experimental films. What's the Muppet one that he did? That the
Labyrinth?
Labyrinth, yeah.
And then Gail brought up Basquiat, where he played Warhol, which... I just thought he was amazing in that.
It's insane if you watch anything with Warhol in it, how much he captured his spirit. It was, oh God, Sean. Yeah, everything good is yours.
On a happy note, have you heard the new song that Bridget Everett wrote for Chris Stanley?
No, what is it?
It's I'm gonna fuck shit up. It's great. It's done to the set of a punk tune.
All right, we gotta get Bridget back in here. We haven't talked to Bridget since we've been doing GPS. I remember that she had asked us to put things together so she could listen to our music. That would be cool if we ever come up with any weird songs that she could to cover. But what about this too? When he did that theme to Cat People that later got used by Tarantino.
Yeah.
In the middle of what's his German movie?
Inglourious
called?
Bastards.
Yeah, I mean that was amazing.
Yeah, when that star, I was like, what the fuck? And it's that big scene where they're all getting ready for the movie premiere.
James in Ohio.
Yeah, hey Ronnie. I've been thinking all week what would be my one song if I could have one David Bowie song, and then Chris Stanley just screwed it all up for me because he played TCP-15, and I'd almost forgotten about that song, and now I have to think the whole thing.
So you would have picked that? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure now. I had Modern Love, and I love that song. It's like I thought it was my favorite Bowie song, but like I said, I'd almost
was that song off your song, Chris? Was that off Station to Station?
That's Station to Station, yeah.
That's such a great album and Low. Kind of go back and forth between that and Low.
What's the biggest, most well-known song on that album, on Station to Station? Like, what was going...
Well, that was kind of his Berlin kind of underground thing, right?
Right.
Yeah. Golden Years is also on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably it. And that's really dark, coming off of coke and heroin kind of songs, that whole Berlin period where we're like, oh, you poor bastard, you're really falling apart. Now you go back and listen to it. You're like, what the fuck am I thinking? It's amazing. I remember when I was just a young kid and he came into Philly because he loved the Spinners and the Delphonics and all that. I'm like, why and he put it out. I'm like, why are you trying to capture their sound? You've already got the perfect fucking sound.
Right.
And now that album, Young Americans, I love that album.
Yeah, that album is so great. And that song, you really hear the Philly soul in Young Americans. And it's funny because we were just also talking about his music being used in film. And I always think about that song. I'm almost positive it's that song at the end of that movie Dogville.
Yes, man.
And it's that song coupled with just really tragic, Dust Bowl pictures. Yeah. And it's so striking. And that movie ends in such a way that your heart is kind of being yanked out. And then that song hits and it's so phenomenal.
It just makes us feel responsible. David Bowie. Well hung in snow white tan, still wanted to be black in the 1970s and actually succeeded. I will tell you this, seeing Bowie on the black TV shows and hearing him on the black stations. I mean, seeing Bowie on Soul Train made you feel nuts. I don't think we have anything that we can compare it to now.
Yeah,
but there weren't white people on Soul Train.
That's crazy.
It just didn't happen. And a year before, he wasn't doing any soul music. So to completely be accepted, oh yeah, he's soul.
He's soul guy.
It was crazy. I remember hearing, and now one of my favorite songs off that album is Somebody Up There Likes Me. Cause just that David Sanborn sax, it's just so great. But at the time I thought I was losing my mind. The other thing that I love in that song, and I never would have played that, but Gail loves it, is when he says, "Do you remember President Nixon?" He might have been out of office for 3 months. It'd be almost like saying to kids now, "Do you remember Barack Obama? Do you recall him at all?" Here's Sean. What's up, Sean? What do you say, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
I've been going back and listening to the Lust for Life album and The Idiot, and that's got some amazing Bowie songs on there. Some Weird Sin, obviously Lust for Life.
I went to see Iggy in that period, and people kept saying, Bowie's going up with him. Bowie's here. Bowie's going up. And I let that get in my head so much, I never enjoyed Iggy. Where is he? Where is he? Is he coming out? Is he here? I was just looking around like a fucking chihuahua.
And then you couldn't enjoy it.
No, the same thing happened with the Hoople, with Lou. There would always be these fucking live Philly things because, it happens in New York, but none of that shit ever happened in Philly. AJ, what's up, buddy?
Hey, guys. Loving the show. Drive a lot on the road. You guys make it feel like I'm just hanging out with friends, so appreciate that. Y'all were talking about Low. And Sound and Vision, I think, is one of the most underrated Bowie songs.
he actually named like his best ofs after that. So, I mean, factually, you can't go like if something is underrated or not, whether it got radio play, because with his fans, you would be shocked. Like, no one ever sits around and goes, well, you know, oh, I don't think that one gets enough play, because people at home play all the shit.
Yeah.
Here's Brian in Jersey.
Hey, guys, great show. I love listening to you. Ron, you turned me on to my favorite Bowie song. I was never a huge fan, even though I've liked every song I've ever heard from him. When one of Davy Mack's kids was born, I don't remember if it was the first or the second, you played Kooks at the beginning of one of the shows.
Right.
And I had never heard it before, and I just fell in love with it. And 2 or 3 months later, my firstborn came around, and for her first birthday, I had a video editor friend of mine put a montage together to that song, and to this day, I can't watch the video. It just going to break you up. It's very emotional, but great song, and thank you guys for highlighting such a good artist.
Dude, you just made our day.
Oh, thanks a lot. You make my day every day, so that's great.
Peace, my friend. You know, a lot of times you look around here and you see what a pile of shit Chris Stanley is, or what a backstabbing little bastard Joey Jojo is, or know that Vito is born with a dark heart and a gypsy soul. Ugh. But then you get a call like that. It makes life nice again, you know? Feels good, you know? Not everything has to be the shit and garbage that we're surrounded with.
I'm just a garbage pile, you know?
There's good stuff, too.
Yeah, let me tell you something. You're going to fucking win all those games over the weekend.
You know it.
You'll climb out of this debt.
Finally.
And maybe you throw a big party for us on Monday. Would you do that?
Yeah, I'll
throw a big, giant party. Let's get that fresh new money out of your pocket as
with
fast
all your
as
winnings.
we can.
I'm doing nothing but making money this fucking NFL weekend. I'm going to pay off that goddamn hospital bill. That's pretty much, I don't even consider that a bill anymore, because I'm going to make so much goddamn money. Thank you.
We should expense your funeral.
Go right ahead. Vito, get receipts for everything.
Got it.
Let me just ask you and be honest. Is Vito your right-hand man or is Joe?
Joe is my right-hand man, and then Vito is Joe's right-hand man.
Your right-hand man, of course, is who?
You.
Okay, good.
And who's your right-hand man?
That's going to be you. I guess you're my left-hand girl since I'm on your right.
Yeah.
And guys look weird if they're the ones hanging on.
Yeah.
Man, I think it's a better feeling to be hanging on than to be hung on.
Yeah, I prefer the hang on.
Yeah. Hang on and hang out, I like to say.
I was like when you're with girlfriends, everyone's always fighting for the female position. Like, no, I'm used to hanging on. It's like, I'm yanking on my arm so much. This is horrible to be a man.
What's that great New York movie where they're walking arm in arm, two dudes? It's Pope of Greenwich Village. You just see these two gangsters, and they're just locked on like a couple of girls walking down the street. Joe, you can't take forever with those calls because I'm going to, be locking it up here in just a couple seconds, letting people go. Garrett, what's up? Garrett, we got you, buddy?
Oh, hey, Ron. Garrett. The one thing that a lot of people don't point out is, remember back in the 80s when everybody was making fun of rock stars being in their 30s or 40s?
Yeah.
Bowie, when the debut of Tin Machine happened, and it was the first time as an 18-year-old kid, I saw somebody in their 40s just rocking out, balls out, and there's a brilliant YouTube video of Tin Machine's debut playing Heaven's in Here, and that just showed me guys in their 40s could rock. It was the first time it actually clicked. Here's this guy who I loved and adored, and I thought his career was over, and it was far from it. And I think most people ignore the fact that record, because 17 people, including myself, bought it. But there's some really badass songs on there.
Yeah,
and
Tin Machine is one of those things that took a ton of shit, and then when you go back and listen to it, you're like, oh, there's some great stuff here. Mark in Chicago.
Hey, Ron. there's a small movie that came out of Germany in the early 80s called Christiana F. It's about a 14-year-old girl who's a huge Bowie fan, and she and a heroin addict. So the whole soundtrack is all Bowie tunes, and there's a couple Bowie concerts in it too. You can even see G.E. Smith playing guitar for him in one of the scenes. But the whole, I can't think of the word, but I couldn't think of a more fitting soundtrack for that type of movie than some of Bowie's dark tunes.
Yeah, he could be very, very dark. Thanks. Here's Rob in Kansas. Rob.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? I was just, when I called in, I was born in England, and I was 8 years old, in that era. And David Bowie came out about the same time Mark Bolan came out, about the same time The Squeak came out, and they all kind of had that androgynous thing going on. So he didn't look as groundbreaking, I think, to us over there. And I think he brought that to America, and it was so different when he came, like the Stones and the Beatles didn't bring that with them. And when he came over here, that's what people got their attention. But it seemed like when they did come over to America, that we'd let them go. They're not traitors, but they were ours, and now they all wanted this big success over in America. But I think David Bowie had to. I followed along, watching.
All right, thanks, Rob. So what he is saying is he's hipper than us in America.
Cool dude alert.
Yeah. Cool dude alert, even though he slurred it all out, but got me. So we got to wrap this up, and this will be it. Not only will we never play Bowie on the show anymore, but I'll never listen to David Bowie again.
I hope that's not true. I hope you change your mind.
It's 100% true.
No, don't.
One thing I do is when I get angry with people for dying. So yeah, this week I'm going to be sad, and then next I'm going to feel like the betrayal of his death, what he did to me. That's what I'm going to say from this point on.
That's the next phase. Anger.
Definitely does feel like the end of an era, though, right?
It does, yeah.
And to thank a piece of garbage like Chris Stanley, Dark Heart like Vito, Joey Backstab, they all they're still alive somehow.
I'm around.
It's really unfair when you think of it.
Almost healthy.
All right, I think we got to wrap it up for the week. Thank you guys for sharing this with me this week.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing this week. And it's been so great to be able to spend the week and listen to his music. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. I'm lucky to be able to be here, hear from everybody, and get to share it with you. It's been tremendous for me. And it would be heartbreaking not to have had this.
I'll tell you, and we're going to end with a song that I saw Bowie end the concert with when I was a kid. This song, of course, off of Ziggy Stardust, to me is the reason, the whole thing behind Hedwig and the Angry Inch and Midnight Radio, that thing of the rock star telling you that you're not by yourself. It's an amazing thing for a kid to get, an amazing gift. So I'll just say thank you to David Bowie. We'll see you guys back here next week. And as you listen to this, make sure that you give us your hand. You got to do that. Take care, everybody.